Ever felt that knot in your stomach when your child is heading off to school? Maybe you've seen those little shoulders slump, that hesitation in their step, or perhaps they're coming home with a whirlwind of worries and complaints. Are they stressed? Anxious? And if so, what on earth do you do about it? That feeling, that worry, it's a familiar one. School, that place of such potential, can sometimes feel like a minefield of pressures. It can be a space where our children are grappling with friendships, academics, social expectations, and their own inner critic. It's a lot to handle, isn't it? And it's not always easy to know how to best support them. That's what we're going to unpack today. We're not going to give you a list of quick fixes, because honestly, there aren't any. Instead, we're going to talk about understanding, about building a foundation of connection and support, so you can help your child navigate the inevitable bumps and bruises of school life. We're going to explore some practical, compassionate ways to understand and navigate the school-related stress and anxiety that so many children face, and in turn, to support you as a parent along the way. And because this is a journey, we'll start with something that's often overlooked but truly vital: learning to listen deeply. Not just hearing the words, but truly listening for the unspoken feelings, the hidden fears. That's where we start. That's where the real work begins. So let's say your child comes home and they're sighing, avoiding eye contact, and maybe even mumbling about not wanting to go back tomorrow. What do? The instinct might be to jump in, solve the problem, make it all better. But sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply listen. Deep listening isn't just about waiting for your child to finish talking. It's about creating a space where they feel safe enough to share what's on their heart. It's about showing them that you're truly interested, truly there for them. Deep listening isn't just about waiting for your child to finish talking. It's about creating a space where they feel safe enough to share what's on their heart. It's about showing them that you're truly interested, truly there for them. And then listen to the tone of their voice, the expressions on their face. Listen for the silences, the hesitations. These can often tell you more than the words themselves. Now here's the tricky part. Resist the urge to interrupt, to offer solutions, or to minimize their feelings, even if you think their worries are silly or easily solved. Instead, try reflecting back what you hear. It sounds like you're feeling worried about the test, or I can hear that you're really disappointed about not being chosen for the play. This shows them you're truly hearing them, and it gives them the space to clarify, elaborate, and ultimately feel understood. I remember a friend whose daughter, let's call her Lily, was terrified of giving a presentation in front of the class. My friend, a natural problem solver, initially started offering tips, suggesting ways to practice, and even offering to help her write the presentation. Lily, however, just got more and more withdrawn. Eventually, my friend realized she was missing the point. She sat down with Lily, truly listened to her fears about being judged, about messing up. She simply acknowledged Lily's feelings. The moment Lily felt heard, the tension seemed to ease. They didn't solve the problem immediately, but they created a connection. It was then that Lily was able to say, "I'm just scared, Mom." And that was the beginning of working through the fear together, in a way that felt safe and supportive. Deep listening isn't a quick fix, it's a practice. It's something we build over time, one conversation, one shared moment at a time. It's a foundation upon which you can build a stronger relationship with your child. A relationship that will make it easier to navigate the inevitable stresses and anxieties of school life. Now, of course, listening is just the start. Sometimes the stress and anxiety run deeper. They might be triggered by specific situations or challenges at school, or maybe they are feeling overwhelmed. Next up, identifying the triggers or underlying source of their anxieties. Once you've opened that line of communication through deep listening, the next step is to become a detective, to gently explore why your child is feeling stressed or anxious. This isn't about interrogating them. It's about being curious, empathetic, and patient. Think of it like this. If you see a child constantly rubbing their tummy, you wouldn't just tell them to stop. You'd try to figure out why it hurts. Is it something they ate? Are they feeling stressed? Is it something else entirely? It's the same with school-related anxiety. Start by asking open-ended questions. What was the hardest part of your day today? Is there anything that made you feel worried or uncomfortable? What are you looking forward to in school? Try to avoid questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. Instead, ask questions that encourage them to elaborate and express themselves. Tell me more about that. How did that make you feel? And if your child seems reluctant to talk, don't push. Sometimes the best approach is to simply say, "I'm here for you whenever you're ready to talk." Or even, "It's okay if you don't want to talk right now. Just know I'm here." Sometimes it takes time for children to open up. They might be afraid of disappointing you or of being judged. They might not even fully understand what's bothering them. Be patient. Trust the process. Observe their behavior. Are they having trouble sleeping? Are they complaining of physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches? Are they withdrawing from friends? Changes in their behavior can be clues, leading you to potential triggers. For instance, let's say your child is suddenly refusing to go to school, and they're complaining of a stomach ache every morning. This could be due to a number of things. Maybe they are struggling academically. Perhaps they are being bullied. Or maybe they're feeling overwhelmed by social pressures. By listening and observing, you can start to piece together the puzzle. And once you've identified the potential trigger, you can start working together to address it. This can mean talking to the teacher, the school counselor, or other relevant school personnel. It can mean helping your child develop coping mechanisms for dealing with stress or anxiety, like deep breathing exercises, mindfulness, or simply taking breaks throughout the day. It might even require a visit to a pediatrician or therapist if you're very concerned. Think about the whole picture: the school environment, their friendships, their academics, their self-esteem. The more pieces you collect, the more clearly you can see the puzzle. Just remember, it's not your job to solve the problem on your own. Your job is to be there, to listen, to support, and to help your child find the resources they need. Now, let's say you've identified the trigger. Maybe it's related to homework, a difficult teacher, or struggles with social situations. The next thing we'll talk about is teaching your child to reframe their thoughts and behaviors. Anxiety often feeds on negative thoughts, spiraling feelings of inadequacy and fear. Helping your child develop coping strategies, helping them shift the narrative, can be a powerful tool to help them face their fears and navigate stressful situations. One of the most effective tools is thought reframing. This is a fancy way of saying helping them look at things differently. When your child is experiencing anxiety, they might be jumping to the worst-case scenario. They might be catastrophizing, making a mountain out of a molehill. It's natural, but with a little guidance, we can help them see things more realistically, more hopefully. Let's say, for example, your child is worried about an upcoming test. They might be thinking, "I'm going to fail. Everyone will laugh at me. My life is ruined." This is a very anxious thought pattern. You can help them reframe that. Ask them, what's the worst thing that could happen? Help them consider more realistic scenarios. Well, if you don't do so well, maybe you can study harder for the next one. Maybe you can ask the teacher for extra help. This is an opportunity to learn, right? The goal is to challenge the negative thoughts and replace them with more balanced, realistic ones. Another strategy is to teach your child coping mechanisms. These are techniques they can use to manage their anxiety in the moment. Examples of coping mechanisms include deep breathing exercises. Taking slow, deep breaths can help calm the nervous system. Teach your child to breathe in slowly through their nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly through their mouth. Practice it together, so it is part of the everyday routines. Mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be as simple as focusing on your breath, listening to the sounds around you, or noticing the sensations in your body. There are tons of short, kid-friendly mindfulness videos and resources available online. Positive self-talk. Encourage your child to replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," they can tell themselves, "I've worked hard, and I'm prepared. I can do this." Physical activity. Exercise is a great stress reliever. Encourage your child to get outside, play a sport, or just run around and let off some steam. Creative outlets. Drawing, painting, writing, playing music, anything that allows your child to express their emotions can be a powerful coping mechanism. Taking breaks. When your child is feeling overwhelmed, encourage them to take a break. Step away from the situation, go for a walk, or just do something they enjoy. I once knew a child who was terrified of speaking in class. Every time he had to participate, he'd get so worked up, he'd get a tummy ache. His parents worked with him, helping him reframe his anxiety. They reminded him of times he had spoken up and done a great job. They practiced together at home, and they helped him develop a calming routine before he had to speak. Some deep breaths, visualizing a successful outcome, and focusing on what he wanted to say. Over time, his fear lessened. It didn't disappear overnight, but he was able to manage it and build his confidence. These strategies won't make the anxiety disappear, but they will give your child the tools they need to navigate the tough moments. They will help them feel more in control, more resilient, and more confident in their ability to cope. It's all about empowering them with healthy ways to manage difficult situations. So, we've talked about deep listening, uncovering the triggers, and equipping your child with coping strategies. But perhaps the most vital thing we can do is to ensure our children feel safe, seen, and supported. Beyond specific techniques, the most important thing you can do is to build a strong, loving, and supportive relationship with your child. This forms the bedrock of their resilience. Imagine your child as a little sapling bending in the wind. A strong, supportive family environment is like the sturdy stake that helps the sapling weather the storms. This is where your child finds their strength, their safety, and their courage. How do you build this supportive environment? Be present. Make time for your child, even when you're busy. Put away your phone, listen to their stories, and engage in their interests. Even a few minutes of dedicated, focused attention can make a huge difference. Validate their feelings. Let them know that it's okay to feel stressed or anxious. Don't dismiss their worries or tell them to toughen up. Instead, validate their emotions. It sounds like you're really worried, and that's okay. Celebrate their successes. Acknowledge their efforts and achievements, big and small. Praising the effort, not just the outcome. "I'm so proud of you for working so hard on that project," rather than, "That's a great grade." Encourage open communication. Create a safe space where your child feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings without judgment. Let them know that they can come to you with anything. Model healthy coping skills. Children learn by watching. If they see you managing stress in a healthy way, they'll be more likely to do the same. Take breaks, practice self-care, and talk about your feelings. Establish a routine. Predictability and structure can provide a sense of security and stability, especially for anxious children. Make sure your child gets enough sleep, eats healthy meals, and has regular time for play and relaxation. Create a sense of belonging. Make sure your child feels loved, valued, and accepted for who they are. This includes fostering a positive self-image and encouraging their unique talents and interests. This goes far beyond any individual technique. When your child knows they are loved and supported unconditionally, it gives them the strength to face challenges. They will know they are not alone. They'll know they have a safe place to land, no matter what. I remember a family where the children, despite their very different personalities, had one thing in common: a strong sense of belonging. The parents prioritized quality time, even with packed schedules. They listened without judgment, and they celebrated every small victory. The children were incredibly resilient, even when facing the inevitable school-related pressures. Why? Because they knew they were loved, they were seen, and they were supported. Remember, building this kind of foundation takes time, effort, and consistency. It's an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. But it's the most valuable gift you can give your child. Because when they know they have a safe place to be, they can weather any storm. So we've touched on listening, uncovering triggers, reframing thoughts, and building a strong foundation of support. These aren't just a list of things to do. They're a way of being. They're a way of connecting with your child, a way of understanding their world and helping them navigate the challenges that inevitably come with school. This journey we're on, the one of parenting, isn't about perfection. It's about connection, about understanding, about learning and growing alongside our children. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. It's about meeting them where they are and gently guiding them forward. It is a journey filled with both joy and challenges. It is also a journey where you are not alone. You've got this. You truly do. Because you're here, you're watching, you're learning, and you care. That's already a huge step. You are already making a difference. Remember, compassion starts with you. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge the ups and downs, and celebrate the small victories. Because every moment you spend connecting with your child, every moment you listen, and every moment you support their journey, you are building a stronger, more resilient family. And here at Family Connection Hub, we're here to walk that path with you. We're here to share ideas, to offer support, and to create a community where families can thrive. If you found this video helpful, if you'd like to keep learning, and if you're interested in joining us on this journey, please like this video, share it with anyone you think might benefit, and subscribe to Family Connection Hub so you don't miss any of our future content. We're here to help you build strong connections within your family and to offer support through all the ups and downs. Thanks for being here, and remember, you're doing great.